Hey, Heart Nation. Hey, welcome to Transformation Tuesday. I am your host, Carla J, the Queen of Inspiration. And here is another episode from Carla's channel, Heart to Heart Inspiration Podcast. Now, if you are new, if you are new here, please go ahead and subscribe so that you won't miss any of the episodes. Today's episode is all about if you want to be respected and you're tired of repeating yourself or feeling unheard when you're speaking, then this episode is for you. I'm going to break down 3 techniques that help your words carry weight without raising your voice. By the end, you'll be able to speak with confidence in business, relationships, at work, and when advocating for yourself, for your health, or for a loved one. So don't you go anywhere. I want you to grab a pen and paper or your notes and let's get started because this information matters. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is you want to build your confidence before you have to speak, right? So before you have to speak, you want to build your confidence. It doesn't start when you're speaking, it starts before that. And you have to practice. You have to practice what you're going to speak, how you're going to speak, what you're going to say, so that in everyday situations, more importantly, when situations arise, that you have to have concise communication, you want to be ready. Okay. So I call this the 3-point confidence checklist. I created this confidence checklist for us. The first thing is called confidence posture. The second is calm certainty. And the third is closing reflection. So confidence posture is a grounded presence. You want to have emotional regulation, self-trust, and authority without being aggressive. That's very important. What does that look like? It means your head should be neutral and level. Your chin should be parallel to the floor, your eyes forward, not darting around or looking down. And why does this matter? Because a level head signals awareness and composure. So that's the presence that you want to give off. First off, right? Even before you start speaking, you want to make sure your posture is correct. Your shoulders are back, right? We hear that all the time. Put your head up and put your shoulders back, right? No hunching, no stiffness, because tension shows up as anxiety, but relaxed shoulders and head up shows that you're in control, right? And you are commanding respect with your posture. You're commanding the room. It conveys confidence, okay? Rigidity, tense, it conveys fear. So that's why it's important. You want your chest open, not puffed. No, not puffed. We just want it chest open, relaxed, enough to breathe deeply and not collapse. Why does this matter? Because you're going to need to take some deep breaths while you're speaking, right? You're going to need to be able to expand that chest wall so that you can get in the oxygen to do what you came to do, to say what you came to say. And if you're standing, even if you're sitting, you want your feet grounded, feet shoulder length apart. Why? Because you want your weight, your posture evenly disseminated. You don't want to be on one foot. You don't want to have your feet folded up under you. Okay. You want to be still, relaxed, and shifting looks like uncertainty, right? So that's how you want to present yourself. Your hands, how do you want your hands? If you're a fidgeter, then you might be doing like this with your hands. You might be doing like this. You might have them under your legs. You might have them under the table hiding. No. Confidence is controlled movements. You want to have your hands at your side or in your lap, or on the table. And another thing, you can have them the steeple position. This is called the steeple position, okay? Not like this, but steeple. Nice and calm. It helps ground you as well. But the main thing is not to have them hiding, not to have them under the table. Don't have them in your mouth. Okay. We want to be cognizant, no slouched shoulders, no head tilted down, not looking over here when you're talking. Well, I'm thinking about, you want to have good eye contact, steady eye contact. You don't want your arms crossed, okay? And you want to have a balanced stance, calm, intentional movement, steeple finger ready and steady, not like this, okay? Doing like that or tapping your foot, bouncing your foot, okay? So confident posture in everyday moments in your conversation, standing or sitting tall, your shoulders relaxed, your feet planted, and pause before responding. So before you even open your mouth, your confidence shows up. And that's what we want. We want to show up with our confidence going before us and our eyes are steady. So the next thing we want to do, we want to have calm certainty. What is calm certainty? Calm certainty is before you start talking, after you got your posture ready, and before you start talking, you want to make sure your voice is ready. Sometimes our voices are trembling and we may not even notice it. For myself, if I'm angry, my voice is probably shaking. And I consciously work on that to calm it down. Because when your voice is shaky, people hear it and they can play on that and they say, oh, she's scared. He's anxious. Okay, I got this. Let me rattle them some more. So that's the difference. And that's why you want to take those deep breaths before you start. And that you're not going to be like, okay, like you see basketball, you see people on the free throw line and they take that big breath and then they bounce the ball. No, it's not that. It's just an inner thing that you're doing. Just taking a deep breath before you talk to draw in that oxygen. Okay. So the calm certainty before you open your mouth is going to be grounding yourself emotionally. What am I going to say? What is the one liner? I call it a one liner that you must say that's going to mean business. Not a whole paragraph, not three sentences, one one sentence that's going to convey you mean business. And it has to be clear language. If it's more than one sentence, it's not a one liner. No, it's too much. It's too much talking because sometimes talking reduces your message. So it's one point, one sentence, no filler. So when you start, you're not going to say, "Oh, how you doing today? How's the weather?" When you are in a decision-making moment, a decisive matter, when you're in an interview or when you're getting a point across with someone, whomever that may be, you want to convey that you come about business and you're not trying to fill the air. Okay? So this is called, you're going to take that pause, you're going to get your one liner out and you're going to release it. And we're going to try this right now. I want you to try this right now. Think of one situation where you need to speak up, whether it's with a client, whether it's at work, whether it's with a provider, or if you're at home or with a family member, with a significant other, with your child, whatever. One decisive statement. We're going to practice it now. The statement that we're going to practice is, this doesn't work for me. Okay, that's going to be our statement. This doesn't work for me. So I want you to take one slow breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. We got our composure, right? Our posture. Now we're going to say our one liner out loud or in your mind, but I think saying it out loud will help. We're not going to explain. We're not going to apologize. We're not going to say, We're not going to turn our head to the side, look up in the air. We're going to say that one liner. We're going to keep our voice steady and our eye contact steady. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. This doesn't work for me. How did that feel? How did that feel? This doesn't work for me. Did you already feel in control? Did you already feel confident? So after you say the sentence, stop. Don't try to fill the space. Don't rush. Don't soften it. Let the words stand. Let them stand right there. Why? Because silence signals confidence and expectation. Remember, this is a moment where we're coming to have a decisive conversation, where we're coming to talk business, no matter what that situation is. These are some of the things that you should put on your checklist. And we don't want to be loud. Being loud is not the answer. We just want to be clearer. Okay? Practice that once a day in low stakes moments. That means that when it's not a decisive decision to be made, you want to practice those techniques. Those are two of the techniques. So that when you're ready, when you need to use it, you can grab it from your memory. It's going to come to you like clockwork. So practice that. Our third point on our confidence checklist is sharing a story of events rather than generalities. So experiences add credibility more than degrading remarks. For example, you're talking to someone, let's say your significant other, and you say, "Don't you think we've gone through this enough heartache, and now we're back? Instead, I don't want to do all this back and forth." But how about you say, "I remember some months ago, we did the same thing and it landed us with a negative bank account. We worked so hard to dig ourselves out of that, but it almost cost us our family and our finances. I'm not ready to put that on the line again." Do you see the difference? But when you say that, you don't want no side smirks, sarcasm. How did that work out for us? No, you want to just less is more. State the facts and what you're trying to convey, your one liner. And then once you are engaged, then you can go on and give your example, but not before that. You want to let the pause sink in, let it stand there. Okay. But I didn't learn this overnight. It took me some time to learn this. So I'm going to be honest. There was a time that I almost lost a lot. When my mom was in the emergency room, I led with emotion. I was loud. My fear was out there. My tone was sharp. She was in the emergency room, and I said, "What are you all doing?" I went out to the nurse's station. You're all at the nurse's station watching TV, and you're not paying attention to my mother. She's throwing up. She's in pain. She is in a lot of pain. And what did that do? It caused a reaction from the nurses and the doctor. And it wasn't good. The one thing I remember was one of the nurses saying, "Is your mother a drug addict?" I hit the roof. I lost it. And guess what? It landed me being escorted out of the emergency room into the waiting room, not allowed to come back. And I was the only person there with my mother. So I could not get any updates. None. So as I sat there in the emergency room saying, "How can I correct this? What do I need to do?" I remembered my mom talking about her experiences as a nurse litigator. And the one thing she used to say was, when you're in the courtroom, when you're in front of a client, the most important thing to do is not go louder and higher, is to come down. Go softer, go clearer. And at that moment, the light bulb went off, and I said, I need to do better. I got myself together. I collected myself. I walked up to the front desk and I told security, I said, "I do not know what's going on with my mother and I need clarity. And I want to talk to the hospital administrator now." And I let that sink in. I let it pause. Guess what happened? They called the hospital administrator. The hospital administrator came down to talk with me. I was much more in control and calm. And she listened, because then she knew she's not yelling. She means business. She knows what she's talking about. She went back in there. She got my mother the care she needed. They whisked my mother to surgery right then and there. And after the surgery, the surgeon told me it was a matter of time. And had there been any time longer, there wouldn't have been a good outcome. So when I say decisive moments, it just doesn't have to be a relationship. It just doesn't have to be an interview. It can be decisive moments like that, where your speech, where your communication matters. So if this resonated with you, please subscribe for more weekly inspiration. And to recap, this is my 3-step checklist for calmness and confident communication. I hope to see you again next week, Heart Nation. Thanks so much for joining. And you all take care. Good night.